After years of hunting for the trashiest games defined by their bad stories, buggy content, terrible mechanics, and unbearable characters, it only makes sense to feel burnt out. On a whim, Sonraku decides to play a god-tier game, Shangri-La Frontier, a virtual reality, massively multiplayer online game boasting a player base of 30 million in less than the 2 years since its launch. When it comes to anime, for years they've used the concept of MMOs as a marketing exercise to profit from falsely representing subgenres like isekai as an MMO experience, just to abandon the theme halfway through the first episode instead of legitimately finding a way to incorporate it into the story. Sword Art Online and Log Horizon have come close, while being praised for their accurate depictions by people that fantasize about the MMO experience and how great it'd be to be trapped in one, but give up quickly after seeing the time investment needed for these games. Shangri-La Frontier was able to properly integrate the MMO experience with an anime narrative, but why have so many anime that have came before and that will come after failed to? When I think of the pillars that allow an MMO to succeed, there are three: community, gameplay, and for longevity, the developers. Of these, the one that anime has best represented is community. Recovery of a MMO junkie and my love story with Yamada-kun at level 999 have displayed how in-game friendships can blossom into real-life relationships. Log Horizon highlighted how people group together to form guilds, and SAO depicted the leaderboard system for the players that have cleared the most floors in Aincrad, which can be an important sense of accomplishment and determining factor for participating in future content. Shangri-La Frontier, showing us Sonraku level up and progress through the VR game, gives us the opportunity to see a hero's journey in the gameplay elements. There are many parallels between a main character's story and that of the leveling process of an MMO. If you speed through either of them, the plot being conveyed is less rewarding, and relationships with characters are weaker. Many anime face the problem of rushing to when the MC is overpowered, and that hurts our viewing experience. In Sword Art Online's case, we don't really get to see Kirito level up or clear Aincrad's floors.
I'm level 78.
Making his development feel undeserving. Ironically, this is also a popular criticism for many modern MMOs that put much more effort into the endgame content, implementing things like in-game transactions that undermine the hard work of players to progress. Through the rush, we end up lacking a surrounding cast to breathe life into the anime. The surrounding cast is much like the importance of an MMO having a strong community. If you're leveling in a game, interacting with players for resources, getting help with difficult content, or an endless list of unique player-generated scenarios, you'll become more immersed in the virtual world. SLF does this by introducing characters Sonraku's known from previous games. Pencilgon, a rival and comrade across other titles, longtime fellow trash game enjoyer Okatsu, as well as NPC personalities of the unique realms such as Rabbituza, and let's not forget the unreciprocated love interest of Steiger Zero. The grind of the main characters in Shangri-La Frontier is an experience I know all too well, from family members no-lifing Ultima Online and selling rare drops on eBay, to learning how to read from quests in World of Warcraft, and in the present where new titles end up disappointing me and I once more return to playing WoW. Throughout the years, I've seen it be the case that MMO players are degenerates willing to sink ridiculous amounts of time in for their reason or addiction to the game. The saying imitation is the sincerest form of flattery is a phrase that doesn't apply to the lows MMO players willingly reach on a daily basis.
Once I shat myself during next speedrun.
Oh god, I'm gonna have diarrhea again.
It's obvious that he died.
To that end, the standard since the 2010s for participating in high-end content as a casual or hardcore player alike is the perceived most optimal path to victory. Sonraku interacts with the world like I'd expect from a player pursuing endgame content. This is not the case for other anime that say a main character is a veteran or top player, and don't give us any reason why. So little things like Sonraku killing ridiculous amounts of rabbits for rare crit daggers, gathering ore for new equipment, or exploiting a mob spawn for better XP gains to level quicker. These things give SLF the feeling of an MMO and the extra links quote-unquote hardcore players are willing to go to for a slight damage increase or to be perceived as a better player. I've had a lot of praise for this anime, and as always, there's a weakness I couldn't overlook. Unique encounters or scenarios are only possible in a utopian MMO. With the game having a player base of 30 million, there's just too many players to not leak information. Maybe someone's sharing this information to help others out of goodwill, or it might be their ego getting the better of them and wanting to flex they've done something others haven't. Of course, after they've gained all the benefits from it before it can become worse. Above all of these, we have the most sinister and dreaded reason, depending on who you ask, and that's data mining. Data mining is a process where data sets are extracted to figure out upcoming content. This could be something minor like cosmetics coming to a game, or on a much larger scale like in the case of Season of Discovery, a reimagining of original World of Warcraft, where the leaks let players know of changes to items or new gear, upcoming events, changes to bosses, as well as power augments that were one of the main selling points for the remake. You might be thinking it's fiction. Shangri-La Frontier doesn't have to be realistic. However, to some extent, fiction has to be drawn from reality. From every imaginable deterrent you can come up with, these companies have tried without lasting success to stop these data miners. Shangri-La Frontier is the best anime depiction of the MMO experience, from how grindy the games can be, the importance of community, and showcasing the mentality towards approaching in-game content. Combining all of these into one makes Shangri-La Frontier the new standard, and what other video game anime should be looking to emulate. With the next season on the way this fall, I can barely contain my excitement for the future journey of our main characters. What will we see of the developer's vision for unique scenarios within Shangri-La, and how will the anime continue representing the essence of an MMO. I may have had my own criticisms for the show, but they weren't of Armageddon levels of problematic to ruin it for me. But I want to know what you think. Is Shangri-La Frontier all that I've made it out to be, or am I coping and something else depicted it better?